Westside Landlord checking in. I'm back with another YouTube video. And what I want to talk about today is how to build the perfect personal credit report so you can get access to business funding of up to $100,000, right? So I've been able to help hundreds of my students reach this goal of getting access to funding so they can invest in their businesses and scale, because capital is very important. So if I had to start all the way over, right, this is exactly how I will build out my profile so that I can get access to funding. And it goes as follows. I will have no negatives on my credit report. So for everybody that's trying to get funding, that's been wondering why they begin decline, why their applications are not being approved, you have a thin profile or you have negatives on your credit report. I don't care how many credit builder accounts, how many authorized user trade lines that you add, you will not be able to have that 750 credit score and to position yourself for funding if you have negatives on your credit report. When I'm talking about negative or derogatory remarks, I'm talking about late payments. I'm talking about bankruptcy, repossessions, collections, charge-offs, anything of that. All of those items need to be removed immediately. And what a lot of people don't understand is your credit is your lifeline. So I don't understand why people put this on a back burner when this should be prioritized. We got money to go out every weekend. We got money to go to clubs, and we got money to eat out every day. We got all this money to do everything we need, except for when we trying to position ourselves to get to that next level. So we need to start prioritizing this thing so we can get further along, and now we can reach our goals faster so that we can get the money that we need to spend time with our family more, because that's what's ultimately important. So we do have softwares, we have different methods, and all of those links will be in the description below on this exact video if you need assistance with removing charge-offs, late payments, repossessions, anything like that, right? But now let's talk about building. And this is how we'll build out the perfect credit report to put yourself in position for personal funding and then business funding, right? So as you all know, we need about 7 to 10 primary accounts. When I'm talking about primary accounts, I'm talking about you going to the bank, or you going to Macy's, or you going to any of these establishments, and you're applying with your own personal social security number. I'm not talking about an authorized user that mom, dad, sister, cousin, brother has helped you and put you on their credit report and help strengthen your credit report. You want to get these primary accounts first because these lenders want to see how lendable you are, how responsible you are managing this debt, right? Every single month, you should have these accounts reporting on your credit report. And what I like to do and teach my students is that all of these initial 7 to 10 primary accounts, I want these accounts to come with no inquiry, because you want to save your inquiries when you actually go for funding. And a lot of people make this mistake in going out and getting all these different type of accounts, and now they have too many inquiries and they have to wait 2 years to remove these inquiries because they have these active accounts on their credit profile. So this is how I would start off my credit report. Self-lender, right? So self-lender has a couple of products. They have a secure credit card in which you can put money in this credit card, and then now they will extend you a secure credit card that you'll be able to use. Or you can get their secure loan, which I like, and you can have it open for, let's say, 48 months or 48 months, 24 months, or 12 months. That's what they offer. I recommend whatever you do, just pay it off in a year and cut it off after that. Now you have an installment account on your personal credit profile that does not require inquiry. That's very important. The next one I would do the same thing is with Kickoff. They don't give you an inquiry, but they allow you to start building credit with that platform as well, right? This process is going to take money, so don't quit your job. That is going to funnel these credit building accounts that's going to help put you in the best possible position, right? The next one, which is one of my favorites, is called Meet Ava, right? And they have two type of accounts as well. They have a secure loan, just like self-lender, right? Which I highly recommend. Hold that account for about a year, right? Then pay it off and close it off, right? Also, they have an installment account, and this is one of my favorite ones. You can get up to $4,000 if you pay for the annual subscription, you can get up to $4,000. It's only $72 for the year. Or if your budget is a little thin, you can start off with $9 a month, but they will give you an installment account up to $2,500 with the $900 plan with no inquiry. And they'll look at your bank account. So make sure you attach your personal checking account, the account that you use a lot, that you got a lot of money funneling through, because that is going to put you in the best position to get the highest limit. So a lot of my students has been getting this card, and pretty much is a digital installment account where you can go and get subscriptions. It's made for credit building. It's not made for you to spend the money. And it's also made to help lower your utilization. So it's one of my favorite accounts as well. And I'll have these links in the description below. Another one of my favorite accounts is Rent Reporters, right? You're able to backdate your rent for up to 2 to 4 years for whatever set amount of money. If you are renting, that's perfect. Let's get this account on your credit report because it's going to show how responsible you is. And just imagine when you go buy a house, they're going to look at that. When you go buy a car, they're going to look at this primary account that you've been paying $1,500 to $2,000. That's going to really help you put you in. It's going to strengthen your profile. If you have access to a family member or friend who owns a piece of property, you can potentially use their property and say that you live in the basement. Mom, dad, sister, cousin, brother. If they own a property, say, hey, I live in the basement. Get you a lease made up. You can go to eForms or rocketlawyer.com, get you a standard lease and put that play together so you can run this play and get this account reported. It's literally one of the strongest accounts, and it's how I was able to get over $1 million in business funding with this specific account alone, right? Also, run the same play with Rental Karma, right? You can run it with multiple different companies, and they're still going to give you a great benefit because it's going to make your profile really strong, right? Also, secure credit cards is a great way to start building your credit report. I recommend getting Discover Secure Credit Card or Navy Federal because they give your money back after 4 to 6 months. So as you max it out and pay it off every single month, they keep note of that. And I like to tell people to get anywhere from $500 to $2,500 on a secure credit card because that is going to help put you in position to strengthen your profile. If you like renting cars, I tell some of my students $500 is cool. But if you can access capital, put $2,500 on a secure credit card, and now you're already prepping because when you start going for business funding, you need these cards at least $2,500 or more for 8 to 12 months. So if you start with this $2,500 secure credit card, that's going to already help you get prepared to go into business funding. It's one of the requirements, and I'll talk about that on my next video, right? So a secure credit card is a great way to start building that your credit profile. And then a pledge loan, right? A pledge loan is extremely important, and it's pretty much you going to your local credit union. That can be Navy Federal Credit Union, DCU Credit Union, Tower Credit Union. It's so many credit unions out there that pretty much will give you a pledge loan, and pretty much the benefits is going to give you the opportunity to be approved for all products within that credit union. It's going to strengthen your credit profile, and pretty much let's say you give them $1,000 to your credit union, and now they'll loan that back to you. What you want to do is pay off 85% within that first month, 85 to 90%. So you will pay off $850 to $900 within that first month. And now that installment account is going to report to your credit report that you paid it off. And then you can give it a few months and then you can pay it off all the way in full, right? But we want that to report to all 3 bureaus. And you want to put your payments on auto pay, right? If you can do weekly pay, try that as well. But if you can do one-time monthly pay, there's nothing wrong with that. I recommend paying it off in about 3 to 4 months tops, right? But this is going to help build your internal score with the banks. So, they understand that, hey, this person is responsible. Imagine when you go back and apply for a $10,000 loan. That's going to put you in position to get access to that funding that you need down the line, right? So pledge loans is something that do not require inquiry and that's going to put you in the best possible position, right? So now once you have all of your negative removed, no late payments, no bankruptcies, no repossession, all of these things removed, and you have your credit builder accounts. Mind you, let me say this as well. A lot of people that do credit repair, they tell you, hey, don't apply for anything until I'm done repairing your credit for 4 to 6 months, 4 to 8 months, whatever. I recommend that you start these credit building accounts today, immediately, as you are repairing your credit, because we want that age in history. So we want to start doing that immediately to put ourselves in position for our age to actually, grow on our credit profile. Is going to strengthen our reports. And now once we got all of the credit builder accounts, all the negatives removed, now you want to go and add at least 1 to 2 authorized user trade lines. And these are going to give you that history that you need before you go and start applying for personal funding. When you do go apply for personal funding, I recommend that you go to your local credit union first, right? If you do not know which credit union that you want to go to, you can go to Google, right? Or you can go to a website called bankbranchlocator.com. You can look for your state and enter your zip code, and now you can find your local credit unions. A tip is try to find credit unions that have business products and personal products as well, because now you can double up on the back end when it's time for go for business funding, right? But I recommend that you go get funding with your credit union first, because they're generous and they give out the bag. Once they see your profile is clean, you build your relationship with them. And these credit unions you should apply for immediately, just because you want to get past that 60 to 90 day mark, so that once your credit score starts going up and is built out properly, now you can start getting $5, $10, $15,000 limits from these credit unions, because you've added these authorized user trade lines, right? You want to make sure you get trade lines that have 5 years or more on history, and they're going to report the best. My favorite two right now is Citibank and US Bank. They report to all 3 bureaus. I've been having issues with Chase, but they're still pretty good. And just be mindful of American Express trade lines, authorized user trade lines. They help you get an American Express family, but they don't report the history. They only report the limit. So when you're trying to go for funding, I recommend you stay away from them. When you're trying to buy a house or buy a car, Amex is perfect. They good to go, right? So keep those in mind. You want to keep your inquiries low, 2 to 3 inquiries max. But ultimately, the profile that I just helped you build out, you have 0 inquiries. So when you go for personal funding, those are going to be your first, 1 or 2 credit inquiries. Also, if you ever apply for a phone bill or an apartment or anything like that, these accounts do not report to your personal credit report, so you can remove those inquiries. Any account that's not active or is closed, remove those inquiries, because inquiries are gold and they're meant for funding, right? So that is how you build out the perfect credit report, so that you can get access for over $50,000 on the personal side, which is going to put you in position for business funding. And for business funding, you should also be starting your LLCs right now, so that it can age as well and put you in position. Just make sure it's properly structured. And I go over that in the next video when I talk about business funding. That's making sure you have a business address or a virtual business address, making sure you have a toll-free number, a business email, and all these things set up, right? And the last thing I want to say is, do not put any of your personal addresses on your LLCs, because it's public records and anybody can look it up. So it's just not safe, right? So I hope you enjoyed this video, right? I also have a link below to my free funding training and my free community, where we can help repair your credit for free, so that you can start putting yourself in position to access 50,000. I got a lot of gems in that, so y'all make sure y'all check that out. And I will see y'all on the next video.